Hello everyone, it's Mike Levin. Tuesday, August 15th, 2017 at around 7:30 p.m. Just getting home. I stayed just a little bit late at the office because I'm wrapping up a project that really has me sort of really engaged. This is my transition into muscle memory Pythonic thinking. I definitely have been at Python long enough, on and off over a period of probably 7 years now. Enough such that all these elegant things about the language reach me. It's impressed upon me that there's all these wonderful, generally unused commonly, I think, by most people, features of Python, such as when you line up tuples with arguments and stuff, you can splat them, and all this tuple bundling and unpacking and automatic targeting of positional locations in a tuple to API parameter input locations, and just the language of manipulating data is almost as fundamental in my mind as one would think it is in SQL, where there's real set principles at play. All the stuff about making sublists and unions and outer and inner joins and language to express the various arrangements you can have in Venn diagrams. Do you take the overlap of the two circles, an inner join, or do you take the combined union of the two circles and highlight where they overlap, as in the outer join? And so you learn SQL at some point in your career, because relational database stuff really did push the industry forward a good large chunk. Because before that, it was index sequential access mode, which is, stepping forward through records, and it's easy to go backwards because you don't have performance optimized forward-only pointers. So if you had, a million records, first of all, it would be unusual, because in those days, a million records was a really big deal. And you were stepping forward, you could just increment the index you were using for lookup by 1, and bam, the next record pulls up. You wouldn't need to know anything about it otherwise, but you couldn't do all that stuff, show me all employees where first name equals Mike. It just didn't have those subset kinds of ideas built in. So SQL came along and everyone jumped on, I think I'm going to go to the deli and get a sandwich. Everyone jumped on the SQL bandwagon. SQL's this, SQL that. And the things that were actually already around that followed more of a key value pair model that we call NoSQL today, but has been around for a long, long time in other forms, was not really the focus. Relational databases were the focus. And it was a square peg solution, so everyone made their problems into square holes, and that was the Web 2.0 days, when Ruby on Rails made relational database web applications pretty much easy for anyone to implement. So Python, thinking in Python, things starting to come off sort of naturally when you have a problem that involves handling the first row of a sequence of things differently, how you would do all that, and just take advantage of built-in enumerators. And if you were to do something that you knew was going to be a resource hog, instead of populating an entire list, why not populate a generator and empty out and use your information from the generator as fast as you build it, so that way nothing is ever held in memory too long. You don't have to have these giant sets in memory. So all this Pythonic list processing using the default data object gives you a level of capabilities just natively in Python. Yeah, I don't know why I'm stopping here. I'm going to the deli around the corner. I'll talk right up to going inside. Then there's another line of reasoning, which is the SQL line of reasoning, which is the language of relational database. Select column names where, some column has this value, and date range column is between this date and that, real set principle stuff. And along came pandas, and I'm sure many other things like it, but now that, doing stupid data tricks is becoming really important to business, drawing information from this data source and that data source and from over there, and sort of knitting it together and doing all those things you would do as if it were in a SQL relational database, but one, you're not limited to rows and columns when you don't need to be, because you have the whole power of Python there, so you can just shelve away all your API data responses, including the response headers and stuff, so that you can always look at exactly what you got back through your API. You can use a file system to store that. You could use SQLite that's built into Python. You could just use it as natively pickled objects on the hard drive through the Shelve API, or you could do it at massive scale by connecting the back ending of such a system to Amazon S3 or something. So when it doesn't need to be row and column tabular data, it doesn't have to be, and you can handle that. But then when it does have to be, you got to do a lot of churning and processing. You can just drop it into data frames and pandas and do joins between stuff you have over here in Python, stuff you have over there in Python, and do all that SQL stuff either using the pandas own API or using SQL itself. And these are the things I'm sort of feeling my way through right now. I'm joining these two very separate thoughts in tech, areas of tech, the relational database SQL world and the Python native data objects world. And they're coming together, being fused on a platform which runs in a browser on your desktop, so it's very familiar. You don't need to do anything special but install Anaconda and then run Jupyter Notebook, which is one of the things it installs, and you have access to all this wonderful stuff. You can just start doing it. It's like a matter of, it's no longer a question of access to the tools, it's knowing how to use the tools. So one of those things that's really worth learning how to do, knowing how to do better, take data from all different sources, knit it together, do some stupid data tricks, start out batch processing, get to real time, and then take that next step to machine learning, where you have enough excess capacity of knowing what needs to be done. If only you could do it faster, you could make good guesses, and excess capacity to take it on in your career as a field, going, oh, I've got all this stuff automated over here, and I can't bring you any more value unless I do some predictive data modeling, and I'll need a little bit more than the resources I have computing-wise. And that's pretty much it. That's where I'm going. That's the direction I'm forging my path to. To me, it feels like next generation SEO. And I'm kind of getting these videos together in place, using the time when I have it to capture these thoughts for myself, for documentation, but also for those of you who are interested and want to follow along a nerd in New York City as he adapts to a turbulent and always evolving field. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.